Regulatory requirements for conducting clinical research include FDA regulation, GCP guidelines, and international regulation. Conducting clinical research is a complex process that is subject to strict regulations and guidelines, aiming at ensuring the safety of participants and the validity of the result. Here is a brief overview of some of the key regulatory requirements for conducting clinical research. FDA regulation. In the United States, the FDA is the primary agency responsible for the regulating clinical research. The FDA has strict requirements for the design, conduct, and reporting of clinical trials, including the need for institutional review board approval and informed consent from participant. Good clinical practice guidelines. Good clinical practice is an international ethical and scientific quality standards for designing, conducting, recording, and reporting clinical research. The guidelines are designed to protect the right, safety, and well-being of study participants and to ensure the validity and reliability of the data collected. International regulations. There are also international regulations for conducting clinical research, such as the International Conference on Harmonization of Technical Requirements for Registration of Pharmaceuticals for Human Use guidelines. These regulations are designed to ensure that clinical research is conducted in a consistent and standardized manner across countries. In addition to this regulation, clinical research is also subject to a range of ethical and legal requirements, including informed consent, confidentiality, data protection, and protection of human rights. Researchers must also be mindful of culture and linguistic differences and ensure that participants from diverse backgrounds are treated equally. It is important for clinical researchers to be aware of and adhere to these regulatory requirements, as failure to do so can result in legal and ethical consequences. The goal of these regulations is to protect the safety and well-being of participants and to ensure that the results of clinical research are accurate and reliable. Another important aspect of conducting clinical research is the management of financial conflicts of interest. Financial conflict of interest can arise when a researcher or sponsor have financial tie to a company or product that is being studied in the clinical trial. To ensure the integrity of the research, regulations require that financial conflict of interest being disclosed and managed appropriately. In addition, clinical research must also be approved by institutional review board, which are responsible for reviewing and approving research protocol to ensure that they meet ethical and legal requirements. Institutional review boards are typically composed of scientists, medical professionals, and representatives from the community. It is also important to consider data management and data sharing in clinical research. Regulations require that data from clinical trial be managed in a secure and confidential manner, and that result be reported in a transparent and accurate manner. In some cases, researchers may be required to share data with other researchers, regulatory agencies, or the public. Finally, it is important to note that clinical research is subject to ongoing monitoring and auditing. Regulatory Regulators and ethics committee will conduct regular inspections and audit to ensure that clinical research is being conducted in compliance with the regulatory requirement. So, in conclusion, conducting clinical research is a complex and regulatory process subject to a range of legal, ethical, and scientific requirements. Adhering to these regulations and guidelines is crucial in ensuring safety of participants, the validity of the results, and the advancement of the medical knowledge. Thank you.